There we go. We're on episode, I missed the number. I think it's 247, something like that. Anyway, it's January 13th, 2019. Welcome to the Legion of Reason diversion. And what we have for this episode is a lot of eye on Islam. Oh, let me just mute the hockey game there. There we go. Calgary Flames are playing. So if you see this little red light go, you'll know Calgary has scored. So
good.
I love this thing. It's all hooked up to the internet and tells me whenever the Flames score. Thank you, Bud Light. And that's, there you go. Free plug, Bud Light. I expect my check in the mail. Okay, so we have Eye on Islam. Of course, this is the big story about Rahaf al-Qunun. She has arrived in Canada now and has been granted asylum by this great country of ours. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the pressure by CARE, the Council for American Islamic, what's the R stand for? Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, I can never remember. Relations, there we go. And they've applied pressure to Amazon to remove a bunch of products for, that were door and bath mats that with Islamic scripture that nobody but somebody from that can read Arabic would understand. Oh no, people would step on it. Oh boy. I wouldn't, I'd be conciliatory about this, but they said some really, really stupid things in the aftermath. But anyway, and not only that, but married, this is funny. I'm not making this up. I mean, seriously, no one can make this up. Married women in the barbaric state of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, South America. Rejoice. You can get the news that your husband has divorced you via texting. Oh, wow. Isn't that progressive? I kid you not. Oh, boy. Catholic Watch. Yeah, we have some Catholic Watch stories. That's hardly unusual. The Antichrist has been revealed. Now, this is, Russian Orthodox, but, it's kind of this potato. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church says that the data gathering capacity of devices such as smartphones risks bringing humanity closer to the arrival of the Antichrist. So apparently Google is the Antichrist. Okay, whatever. And here we go again. German Cardinal Walter Brandmüller makes the claim that, apparently Calgary has scored. So... Well, that was quick. They haven't even started. I thought they hadn't even started playing the second period. But anyway, so.
Hey, can I interrupt? Because
sure.
Vince is saying that the sound is really, really distorted, and I can hear. I can hear that as well.
Okay, well, let me try restarting the sound engine here.
Stuff.
How about now? How is that great?
Testing.
Is that better? Is that better?
It is for me.
Well, that's good enough.
Can you
that's good enough.
Provide some feedback?
Okay, so here we go again. Walter Brandmüller, German cardinal, has made the claim that homosexuality is to blame for the Catholic Church's predatory priest scandals. Of course, we've dealt with this before ad infinitum. Hey, and we unpack what he has to say in terms of not only his premises, but the logical conclusions to those premises. And I don't think he's going to like them very much. And then in the regressive left files, there's more on the fallout from the Sokal Squared debacle. Remember that Peter Boghossian and Helen Pluckrose and James Lindsay sent in a bunch of papers to these Grievance studies journals, and they were outlandish. And not only did these journals accept these papers, they actually added to the outlandish nature of these papers, which is really bizarre. They are, wait for this, they are being, or at least Peter Boghossian is being accused of ethical misconduct because he did not seek prior institutional approval for the use of human subjects in the Grievance study hoax. Like, this is just, wow. And a lot of people have been writing in with their support, and, you know, unknown people like Robert Sopalsky and Steven Pinker, Jonathan Haidt, you know, people you've never heard of before, right, are writing into Portland University saying, you know, just cut this out. Anyway, we might have other stuff to talk about, but anyway, that's the intro for the episode, and we're, I guess, all set to go. How are you two folks doing? I mean, I know, Twyla, you just got home and from somewhere, and are anyway.
Oh, I can hear that.
Yeah, that's Christine's.
Yeah, I'll mute again. But
wonderful heater. Okay.
I was just taking my son home from work. I hadn't seen him since Christmas, so.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, that's good. But it's too bad. I mean, you know, depends on your outlook. I mean, do you like your son?
Of course.
Well, there's no of course. I mean, like, gee, you know.
He's just very grown up and has a job and a life, and so if I take him home, I can have a chat, catch up.
Good. That's good. And Christine, what about you and your daughter? Your daughter doesn't even live in Calgary, right?
She does.
Oh, she does?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
And she's at ACAD.
Oh.
ACAD?
Yeah.
What's she taking?
Well, general art kind of thing. Like ACAD is an art school, so she's in second year. Yeah. But yeah, she's doing well.
All right.
Grown up children.
Yep. And I'm thinking about the furnace again. I will mute myself once again.
Well, that's kind of like why I never had kids. I didn't have to deal with them, and you know. People think I'm selfish for being like that. Oh, yeah. Empty nest. Well, for Rhonda, it's an empty nest. For me, it's like I never built one. So there you go.
Cat heaven.
Yes, we have cat heaven, and actually, there's no cats. Okay.
Oh, what the?
Ingrates.
They're all plotting against you right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's another story. Maybe I should start with this one. Quebec's labor watchdog seeks $900,000 from the Church of Scientology for underpaying staff. Shock and surprise. The Church of Scientology in Quebec, for 62 workers, is basically not paying them at all anyway. So that's just par for the course. You know, Scientology has been accused of a lot of things. If you've ever read Going Clear by Lawrence Wright, I would love to have Lawrence Wright on. If you're listening to this, please get a hold of me. It's basically religious slavery, if you want to call it a religion, because
and money. It's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, they have a huge amount of money.
It's such a scam.
Yeah, it's a total scam. They have a huge amount of money. A lot of it in real estate. They bilk their members,
their followers,
mercilessly. Yeah.
You have to buy a bunch of reading material and other stuff. It's very, very expensive, and then you go up.
And you get audited using one of these. Basically, it's a
machines.
Lie detector. Yeah, e-meter they call it.
Yeah.
It's skin conductance measurement. It's like they charge thousands and thousands of dollars for $5 worth of components. It's just a joke.
And $5 worth of paper that they have to study for thousands of dollars. So people have gone broke and committed suicide.
Well, and then they interview you too, and they'll say things like, "How would you behave if you were a pedophile?" And so they'll get this kind of thing recorded and use it to
blackmail.
Yes.
Well, apparently,
exactly.
the accusation is that Tom Cruise is being blackmailed for being a closet homosexual. You know what? I just don't give a damn.
I don't know.
I really wouldn't care if he was.
Well, I think it's pretty voluntary for him.
Yeah, they treat their stars very well, no question.
Differently.
Because they know that gets them.
Well, their stars probably give them like $1 million. So.
Yeah, and that's a drop in the bucket, right? But they also told him who he was going to marry, right? They control his life.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And so what if he came out as gay?
Yeah, who cares? I don't care.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Like, imagine being blackmailed because you're gay. Like, come on, that's ridiculous.
In this day and age, who cares?
Like, blackmailed because I have green eyes. Stupid.
Well, it was funny, like that episode of The Simpsons where Troy McClure is, has a secret that he didn't want out, and people saying, "Well, is it because you're gay?" And I'm like, and he was like, "I wish."
That'd be easy.
Like it's
America. You're not going to be killed for being gay.
The secret was he slept with fishes, but
he slept with what?
Fishes.
Does that mean you're dead?
Well, no, that was the joke, right? No, like Tony, the mafia guy was like, no, I didn't say he sleeps with the fishes. I said he sleeps with fish.
How do you sleep with fish?
I don't know. It was a joke. It was that I asked the writers of The Simpsons.
At the bottom of the whatever body of water. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was just funny. That was the joke. But, yeah. So no one cares anymore, Tom. No one cares. We really don't.
Oh yeah.
It's not a big deal. It's whatever. Anyway, so they're seeking French employment agency is seeking $750,000 in unpaid wages and vacation pay. Really, they should be going after damages because this is criminal activity. If you're underpaying your employees, you're breaking the law. There you go. But of course, because it's religion,
they get away with it.
They think they can get away with it. And does anybody know about Operation Snow White?
No.
No, it was the what was called the raid on the IRS in the United States. But they basically broke into the IRS to steal files. This is the Church of Scientology. It was
on themselves.
Yeah, they wanted the files, and what happened later on was that they threatened the IRS with so much litigation that they would tie the courts up for decades unless the IRS gave them religious status.
Oh, blackmail.
Totally blackmail. It's legal blackmail because they can do it without breaking the law. I mean the break-in was illegal, and L. Ron Hubbard's wife and a few others served time for that. But it's all in Lawrence Wright's book, Going Clear. It's a really, really awesome book. I mean, he doesn't have to make judgments. I mean, he's not. He can come at it from a completely neutral standpoint, and you'll come away with thinking, that's really fucked up.
Well, and when you get to the top of the ladder after you pay like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars into their education.
To find out Xenu. Yeah, exactly.
Xenu, that's...
It's too bad. We've got the punchline, folks. Xenu did it all.
Xenu came to the planet with a bunch of evil, what do they call them, kind of spirits, and then that's why you need the E-meter to get these things out of you. Thetans. That's the word. Yeah. Yes. And they came in
707s, by the way, or space planes. What the hell? L. Ron Hubbard was a hack.
Well, and he was a fictional writer. I think he
was a terrible science fiction writer.
Xenu. Sci-fi.
Well, he's kind of like Trump. I mean, he had a marketing idea and decided to start a religion, and
it was all done on a dare. I'm sorry, but this is one of the things that I blame Isaac Asimov for. It was a dare.
We're getting feedback from both people that are listening to both Facebook and YouTube that are saying our sound is very distorted and they can't understand what we're even saying.
Oh, really? I can try restarting the audio.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
But the Skype is fine, right?
Yeah, I can hear.
Well, Rand, you seem not the best quality, but I can understand you.
let's try it again. I just restarted it, so worst comes to worst, people can listen to the audio release.
Recording after the fact. Yeah,
after the fact. I'll get it up tomorrow. Well, let me take a look at what's going on the interesting. Oh, yeah, it seems okay. I don't know. I'll just work on the audio release, and if it's necessary, I'll download the video and put the audio in, because the audio.
I'm just wondering if it's something on my end, because I know when my furnace turns on, it messes things up. And
no, it's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think that's the problem.
Well, it's kind of weird because the furnace does do something to the quality of the internet. So it very well could be on my end, but it's not on my not on my end. Anyway, what else? What should we? Okay, take your pick. Eye on Islam or Catholic Watch? Pick one.
Well, it's almost the Eye on Islam. We have a good news story about the one lady, and then we have, of course, that crazy thing where they.
Eye on Islam it is. Hey, there we go. There. So, whatever comes up first, I don't care. Of course, there's the obvious good news story. The United Nations came to Canada to ask that we accept Rahaf al-Qunun as a refugee. She was originally trying to go to Australia. I don't understand the machinations behind the scenes, because Australia probably was willing to do that, but the UN decided to ask Canada for some reason. I think Canada could expedite things more quickly than Australia
could be. We've changed our immigration laws because we actually need immigrants right now.
Yeah. Immigration actually takes care of a lot of the lower paying jobs, which kind of bothers me a little bit, because it's not fair to new immigrants to do this.
Well, and tech jobs too, like
there's some. It's we don't have free borders in Canada. It's not easy to immigrate to Canada. We're willing to take refugees because that's a more acute, and the danger is clear and present. So that's this case. But in terms of immigration, it's a point system, but we're not like the United... Oh, there's a cat somewhere around here.
Well, immigration means that you have to be able to fill a job, or to, have money to come here to...
There's a need that it needs to be addressed in our country.
You want to contribute because we need to replace our population. We're not, replacing our population such that we can. So we need taxpayers too.
And it makes sense because you want people who come here to be successful.
And they employ a bunch of people too, right?
Yeah, so, you want people to come here to be successful. Businesses. You don't want them to be. Yeah. So I mean, I know a lot of people, after Trump got elected in the United States, were thinking, maybe Canada's nice. Well, it is nice, but good luck getting in. We don't need you.
Sorry. And, my goodness, when I felt so terrible for the people that were basically running across the borders and getting things like frostbite and losing hands.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about that is that there was a man from Ghana who crossed the border in Quebec, who ended up losing a couple of fingers and toes because of frostbite. And it's funny, is my wife was in Ghana, and they didn't believe her that this is possible, that you could lose appendages from frostbite. Because it's like 90 degrees at night in Ghana. It's like, you can really, the cold can kill you. It can kill you. It's not so bad here in the West, but if you're not prepared for it, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
losing fingers is not good.
Yeah.
And how do you work?
That's a good question. Anyway, it's cold here. It's really cold here.
Yeah.
Not in Calgary, but say Quebec.
Well, I think we did take in those people that were able to cross the border, but my goodness, the risk they took. And
yes, absolutely.
I know there was one gay couple who lost a couple of fingers and stuff like that, and they were so happy to be here. They said it was all worth it.
Oh,
so
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad that their countries are so bad that it's worth losing fingers.
Well, it's sad that the United States creates the environment in which people are trying to get into Canada. The Border Patrol Services tries to, and the RCMP pick these people up and get them to safety, right? First, before we that's the first priority. I know in Emerson, last year it was a really big problem, and in Emerson they really needed federal help because they just didn't have enough resources to place people. Quebec, probably the same thing. But anyway,
I think for the most part, there's probably a lot of volunteer kind of activity going on there to help.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Still.
Oh yeah.
So.
The whole story began when Rahaf, she's 18, so she's of the age of majority in the West, what we would consider the age of majority in the rest of the world, and she escaped the clutches of her family while she was on vacation in Kuwait. She tried to fly to Australia via Thailand, and shame on Thailand for caving in to the demands of the barbaric state of Saudi Arabia and sent her home. And she barricaded herself in her hotel room and tweeted. And this was, this was at the behest of her father. Well, she's of the age of majority. Who cares? She is an adult. She is. You do not intervene on behalf of another adult in the emigration of another adult. You just don't.
No, it happens though.
So what if she's not a citizen? She's not a person as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned. We don't give a damn about Saudi Arabia. I'm trying not to swear.
Why?
The hell with Saudi Arabia. We don't care. The barbaric state of Saudi Arabia can suck it.
I was going to say we do care, and let's get Raif and his sister. Is it his sister?
And
who are also bloody hell, and who knows how many other people.
Asia Bibi.
For one story like this, there's 100, 1,000, right?
Oh,
women trying to escape.
Women are trying to get under the clutches of this regime. This is a culture which tries to make half of its population disappear by making them into Pac-Man ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are moral relativists out there. Screw you.
Yeah.
Just because it's their culture doesn't make it something that improves the wellness of its population. I hate cultural relativism. It drives me nuts, and I've met these people, and I want to strangle them. It makes it drives me nuts.
It's fun to say, oh, it's their culture, leave them alone, kind of thing. But once we cross a line where it's clearly,
if it's benign,
when rights are being violated, when people are suffering, it's one thing that's a nice, green curry, and we want to incorporate that in our culture, kind of thing. But it's quite another, like female genital mutilation. No, no,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
I also want to speak to Thailand's tactics when they were trying to convince her to come out of the hotel room. They lied to her about who was at the door, and she was luckily on the phone with somebody, I think with United Nations, who was guiding her through what they were going to do to help her. So they were like, don't answer the door, it's not us, and everything else. Thailand.
Yeah, no kidding. And don't go to the Saudi Arabian embassy for any reason.
Yeah, and they were speaking to that. So I think it's the UN that can take most of the credit for her freedom now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And her father wanted to talk with her, and I'm just like, that's not up to him. Sorry, if she wants to talk to him, she could say yeah. If not, she could tell him to go stay home. Like, really, women are people. I'm sorry, Saudi Arabia, that you think they aren't.
Yeah, I'm so proud that
not
we're taking it.
And Canada's done it right. We're not saying we could say, look, this is how women are treated in Saudi Arabia, and we stand for something different, and screw the king and the crown prince. We could say that, but I understand that diplomatically it's not a good idea.
I think
it's implied. It's implied. Yes.
Yes.
But we don't have to. We don't have to say it, right? But we could. I don't care personally. Go ahead.
Kind of have, It's
like, big middle finger to the Saudi Arabians.
Be bullied by that shit. Yeah.
Big middle finger. You can
take your students home who don't want to go back, and
we should be offering. I wonder if they're very quietly offering asylum to anyone from Saudi Arabia who wants to stay.
Canada?
I wonder if that's what's happening. You don't think so?
No. I think she just really lucked out because she was able to, I guess, make her tweet go viral. But I think, like I said, for every one of her stories, there's 100, if not 1,000, right? Of people who are trying to get out, and they don't even know who to contact.
No, I'm talking about people who are here, like are already here, and that have been recalled home. I wonder if Canada has offered asylum for those people.
I wonder too, actually. The students, because I suspect probably.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's it would be interesting. I'd love to know that.
Wasn't Rahaf granted asylum if he could get here, basically?
Yes,
I mean, we can't obviously drag him out, but so he's already right.
He already has he will be accepted if he's granted or is released to Canadian custody.
Yeah.
Let's hope that happens. I mean, there's also Asia Bibi. We haven't heard from her in a while in Pakistan. It's fortunate that Rahaf could make it here, and she's here. She's safe, and that's all that matters for her.
And they made it quite clear in Saudi Arabia that she is in violation of their laws. It says here.
Big deal.
She has violated Saudi laws in seeking to travel without the permission of her male guardian, has now further violated a number of laws and outraged the regime.
Oh,
so
no.
If she is not allowed to come to Canada as she is, she's probably going to be dead.
Yeah. She'll end up as like Khashoggi. Right away.
Yeah.
The hell with this. This is the... Okay, do you know how the Barbaric States got their name? Do you know the Barbaric States, by the way? First, it goes back to 19th century. The Treaty of Tripoli, right? Which everybody knows the Treaty of Tripoli is a declaration by the United States that they are not a nation founded under Christianity. But most people don't know what the treaty was about, and the treaty was about was between the United States and the Barbary States that American sailors were not taken as slaves because they're different religions, so they are non-persons kind of thing. But the Barbary States are called the Barbary States. And it's pretty easy to guess. It comes from the word barbarian.
Yes, they say. Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to figure that out. And well, they ain't changed. As far as I'm concerned, they're just as barbaric as they were.
with the next story, you can actually get informed that you're divorced now.
Oh, yeah, a good segue. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's go to this.
I'd heard that women weren't always told they were divorced before, but I'd forgotten about that until I saw this again, and it's just still unbelievable.
Yeah. It's like, let's see. Saudi women to get divorce confirmation by text message. Oh, how, isn't that wonderful?
Now they can be informed that they're divorced. Issue being that the men before could get away with not having to pay alimony and such, so they could have a secret divorce, and then of course the women were completely hooped.
Yep, they had no idea what was going on. It's just a silly. What do you say about Saudi Arabia? I mean, it's a fucked up place.
Yeah,
it's just fucked up. There's, all this talk of, they're progressive. The new crown prince is progressive. That's just bullshit. It's a smokescreen.
He just had Khashoggi killed, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he ordered. Well, there's no question in my mind. He ordered Khashoggi to be killed. Nothing happens like that without the knowledge of the crown prince. Give me a break. I mean, they sent a whole hit squad. Jeez, how much more evidence do you need? Anyway, a new regulation in Saudi Arabia is set to stop Saudi women from being divorced without their knowledge. I'm sorry, but you know what?
Wow.
Out here, women don't, women don't know that they are getting divorced.
Unreal, huh?
Yeah, how progressive?
Yeah.
Give me a break. This is not progressive. This is stupid. There's a difference.
It's a religion of peace.
The religion of peace, yes. I'm starting to sound like Gad Sad.
Sarcastic? Yeah.
Not at all. No, he's not sarcastic at all. He means exactly what he says. No, right.
Sometimes he's hilariously sarcastic.
He complains that people... Right? Yeah, exactly. That's what he complains about. People that don't understand. Yeah, he's being sarcastic. Yeah. I really want Gad Sad on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, his politics and mine are don't mix very well, but yeah, we're still going to drink a bunch of beer and have a good time.
That doesn't mix very well?
My politics and his probably don't mix that well.
I think I'm super interested in his marketing research.
Oh yeah, but that's his research. I mean, that's evolutionary psychology.
It's to talk about because often he appeals to that for making his case, right? Like this is how consumers behave, and this is how biological.
But men and women are the same.
Why they behave that way, right? I think it's fascinating.
Men and women are the same, though. There's no difference. It's a social construct. What other buzzwords can I hit here? Yeah.
Well, consumer behavior, that's a different take on things, and it's interesting.
Quit buying shoes, women.
What's up?
Quit buying shoes, women. So last year, yes, I love this. A decades-old driving ban on women was lifted in Saudi Arabia. Woohoo! Did we ever have a driving ban ever in the West?
Probably.
I'm not aware of one, to be honest.
Well, I know one time the bicycle was very liberating for women, right? It was like a sign of feminism because they could
the spin cycle of the washing machine?
Oh, can't hear you.
Like the spin cycle of the washing machine?
Yeah, that would be, about right nowadays, but,
I'm such an evil bastard. The new measures ensure women get their alimony rights when they're divorced. Seriously, this is not how. Okay, what do you say to this? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble finding the words to express how fucking stupid this is.
Hey, can you show it on screen?
Oh, yeah, sure. There we go. Saudi women to get divorced, by text message. What do you say to this? What do you...
Well, I guess it's... Do you remember, years and years ago, Steve Martin did some kind of skit or whatever, and it was about, how you would divorce a woman. I divorce thee, I divorce thee, I divorce thee. You just had to say that 3 times, and so I guess this is a text equivalent of...
So you text 3 times. Right? Text 3 times on the ceiling? Yeah. No, sorry.
I think there's something to do with having to, I don't know, do something with the ground in front of the person or something like that too, but just this bizarre ritual to,
Do they think that little of marriage? I mean, do they think this little of marriage, that it's so easy to divorce? I mean, what the hell? When
women are property, what the hell,
If
you regard a woman as property,
absolutely.
I think
that's part of it.
Throw that person away.
But women is Islam is the most feminist of religions.
Oh, I know. Of course it is. Yeah.
And peaceful.
Mm-hmm. And peaceful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. You know who I haven't heard? There's two people I haven't heard on Twitter in like a month. And I checked the other day to make sure that I hadn't been banned or blocked. And one is Linda Sarsour. I haven't heard from her in a month. Why is that? I would like to know. The other is everyday feminism. That's right. I mean, there's been a lot of accusations of anti-Semitism. But they're just accusations, even though you could point to actual video evidence that when Linda Sarsour comes out saying, "Oh, it's just the Jewish media that paints me anti-Semitic," I'm just like, "Oh my God!"
Way to prove.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Well, let's not forget about Ayaan Hirsi Ali's genitals and how they ought to be. Yeah. She's just she's
a total feminist.
Terrible person.
Yeah, she's an awful human being.
Yeah.
The other Twitter account I haven't heard from in a long time is Everyday Feminism, which is why you've never been subjected to my typical.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's only because they don't exist anymore.
Behind the scenes, everybody, Randy likes to send us fucking.
Everyday Feminism. They're the least feminist I've ever seen. They don't know anything about feminism. It's funny. Men need pap testing too. Like what?
They have their own. It's called prostate.
No, they actually they're not talking about that. They're actually talking about pap tests, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make I schedule an appointment for a pap test. Right.
Well, they should have breast exams though.
True enough. That's right.
Cancer. Absolutely.
5% of breast cancer cases are men. That's true.
Yeah. So, men, if you feel a lump or I wouldn't know otherwise how to.
It might not be new muscle.
Yeah.
I'm such a bastard. Yeah. What else we got? And I know there's some. Yeah. Complaints prompt Amazon to remove products that are offensive to Muslims. Okay. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm okay with that. There's a lot of Quranic scripture that's being, this company sells doormats and bath mats with Islamic scripture.
And toilet seats.
Was it toilet? Yeah, toilet seats. I think that was biblical. I think they were using another example.
Oh, okay.
The Council on American Islamic Relations, which is associated with terrorists, by the way, the nation's largest Muslim civil rights and, by the way, anti-Semitic organization, asked the online retailer last week to remove these products, which included doormats, bath mats, and other items imprinted with Islamic calligraphy. I would be fine with this, but okay. then they open their big fat mouths. My gut feeling is that at least for the bath mats, shower curtains and stuff like that, it's these companies just slapping these designs on everything without even thinking about it. Fine. I agree. But there are others crossing the line into intentional Islamophobia. Oh boy. I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna do this.
Islamophobia.
That was awesome.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, the new toy, by the way. Yeah, Islamophobia, of course. Some of the companies have things like toilet seats. Really? People sell toilet seats? I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, this is not okay. It just goes into this whole. They want to ensure. This is a quote. To ensure that products are not exploiting or promoting bigotry for commercial gain. Oh, Islamophobia. Here we, oh boy. I would have been really conciliatory until they started talking about Islamophobia. Then it becomes, you know what? I want one. I want one now. It's just like waving a red piece of cloth in front of a bull, right?
Yeah, strikes in the factory. Yeah.
Don't tell me what I can't do. Stop doing that. Do not tell me what I can't do, because that is just asking for me to do exactly what it is you think I can't do. Congratulations.
These things will be collector's items now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, maybe eBay still has them.
Probably.
Maybe. Or Alibaba, another one. That's a good place to go. I like that one. So should we, I guess we could go on to the next seg, which is this one.
It's now time for the Legion of Reasons Catholic Watch.
Oh yeah, well, what would this podcast be without the Catholic Church? Be really, really boring. Maybe it's boring already. I don't know. Where do we start with the smartphones? I love this.
No. Apparently, we're still having sound issues, but
are we? I can't do anything about it. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wish I could. Smartphones risk bringing on the arrival of the Antichrist, warns head of the Russian Orthodox Church. Smartphones. Apparently, that's in the Bible somewhere. Does anybody want to point out the actual scripture? Oh, in an interview shown Monday on state TV, which I guess would be Russian TV, Patriarch Kirill said the church does not oppose technological progress, but is concerned that someone can know exactly where you are, know exactly what you're interested in, know exactly what you are afraid. How does somebody know what you're afraid of? I don't know. And that such information could be used for centralized control of the world. No, I'm sorry. I have to do that again.
Control of the world.
Okay.
Kind of like Santa Claus or God.
Or
hey?
Very godlike.
Yeah. How about control of the world?
Cylons.
I love this thing. I love this.
That's so cool.
Control from one point is a foreshadowing of the coming of Antichrist, if we talk about the Christian view. Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, if you're not Christian, you're not going to believe in the Antichrist. Antichrist is the... Oh, no, I got to do this again. Here, this is the voice that he uses.
Control from one point is a foreshadowing of the coming of Antichrist if we talk about the Christian view. Antichrist is the person who will be at the head of the World Wide Web that controls the entire human race.
Awesome.
I love that thing. I love this thing. It's awesome. So apparently Google is the Antichrist. There you go.
Okay.
Thank you for warning us.
Yeah. Yay.
Patriarch Kirill. Whatever. I get to the usual Catholicism. Homosexuality is to blame for sexual abuse, not the Catholic Church. Sorry.
What the hell?
I'm getting a lot of use out of this. I'm getting a lot of use out of this. This is awesome. Homosexuality is to blame for sexual abuse, not the Catholic Church, claims German cardinal. Oh, a German cardinal on Friday provoked? Really, that's not provoked. That's like caused.
Incited.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, are you... Sorry, I'm trying not to swear. Provoked anger and controversy when he claimed the Catholic Church was not responsible for sexual abuse by its clerics. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no kidding.
So
Jesus Christ, I'm so sick of them.
What are they saying here, that all these priests are homosexuals? So because the availability of boys is greater than it is for girls. And by the way, the Pope has approved.
Is it though? Is it?
Yeah.
Though?
There are no until very recently there was no such thing as an altar girl.
Okay.
They must have participated in some capacity though.
Not in that way.
Had access to them.
No, it was always altar boys until recently.
Okay.
And now
there are reports of women that were abused in orphanages by priests and such.
Yeah, again, availability, right? You know, you have pedophilia isn't about access. The gender of the kid. It's about control and about the extreme youth of the individual. It has nothing to do with... I mean, a young girl is very much like a young boy. They're very androgynous, or what's the word?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they're very similar.
They're children.
Right?
They're not. Haven't gone through adolescence or whatever yet. Yeah.
Pat. They're like Pat, a young version of Pat. If you remember the Saturday Night Live
Pat
thing.
and Chris. Yeah.
and that's the availability problem. And so everybody thinks, oh, they're all boys, so there must be homosexuality. No, it's nothing to do with that. There's no more predilection amongst homosexuals for pedophilia than in the heterosexual population. So stop it.
Yeah, that's really twisted to try to conflate the two, and yeah,
totally.
Yeah, it's pretty transparent that they're.
And he also claims that, quote, a vanishingly small number of clergy committed abuse. 6% is not vanishingly small.
That's why we hear so many reports about it through centuries now and internationally, and probably still going on, you know.
And he claims that it is statistically proven that there is a link between homosexuality and abuse. That's garbage.
What a bunch of shit.
This lack of accountability is disturbing because that means things aren't going to change.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
also might mean that they're just going to, you know, people. You hear shit like that, and hopefully there'll be less asses in seats.
Well, that's, you know, like, I think we reached the saturation level.
It's becoming embarrassing to say I'm a Catholic. I don't think people want to say that anymore.
Well, I think that anybody who says they're Catholic should be told that, you know, you shouldn't be a Catholic. I'm done being deferential to them. You know what? Why are you Catholic after all this? I mean, seriously. What is wrong with you that you are still a Catholic?
Well, some of them are homophobes, and this will appeal to them.
Well, what really amazes me is that there are people in the gay community who are Catholic. Like, why? I mean, even if that God existed, why would you think, oh, he doesn't want me to be gay? Well, I am. Well, tough. What twisted logic do you have to go through? I don't understand this.
Following it with my breast cancer and that kind of thing, I had an appointment this week, and I got to talking about the guy who was kind of examining me, as I was part of a research kind of project where they were, doing fewer radiation treatments, but more targeted. Anyway, so we're talking about this, and I just happened to mention that we were talking about my research, and I said something about Catholic hospitals and what we're talking about here, lack of, they're trying to undermine our right to die with dignity, they're meddling in our schools with our, and he was floored, he didn't know, and he said, he kind of whispered under his breath, I was raised Catholic, but you would never fly at the foothills. If you wanted to die with, had the right to die with dignity, you just do. So he didn't even know that these Catholic hospitals were being so problematic with, I said, there was even a guy that got stuck at a freaking bus stop.
Yep. Yeah. I think I might want to bring up something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's where was it? But
he didn't even know. And he's a medical professional. He had no idea that this was going on in Catholic hospitals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, in Catholic palliative care, most of the palliative care in the province is under Catholic control. That has to end.
Yeah.
It's a violation of the Canada Health Act, as far as I'm concerned, and the federal government and the provincial government, especially because they're the ones that administer the Canada Health Act, they've given an exemption to Catholic institutions, healthcare institutions, that they don't have to provide medical assistance in dying. And it's like, well, that's 90% of the beds in Alberta. So what choice is there? Where's the patient's rights in all of this? It doesn't make sense. And here's an article. St. Martha's Hospital remains firm on policy against medically assisted dying. This is in Nova Scotia. And the Sisters of St. Martha has an agreement with the Nova Scotia government forbidding medical assistance in dying. Stop this. End this. This has got to be a violation of charter rights of patients. Patients' rights come before anything else in the healthcare system. And it is named in the agreement that we don't do suicide, says congregation leader Sister Brenda Lee Boisford. Well, you know what? You shouldn't be doing healthcare. How about that?
Yeah.
I love what Jocelyn Downey said, and she's a professor at the Schulich School of Law at Dalhousie University, and she specializes in health law. I should get her on. She said, quote, "The bottom line is that a faith-based institution should not be allowed to impose its faith," and they have a weird apostrophe here. Guys, learn English. Its values on the citizens of a community who may not share them. And that is exactly it. It is allowing an institution which has really no say in the rights of a patient to dictate what the rights of a patient are. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, imposing their religion on others, yet they would get really angry if that was the Muslims doing that to them.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. We have to end it.
It's a double standard, and I don't understand why the governments keep pandering to it, because the fundies are going to be mad at you for...
Yeah, NDP is doing it. And that here in Alberta.
The fundies hate you as it is. This isn't going to get you votes.
Go the extra mile. You might as well. In for a penny, in for a pound. I mean, you already got them upset over the GSAs in schools. Yeah, and you balk at this? Are you kidding me? Come on, go for the brass ring. It makes no sense to me. I just don't get it. And it's basically saying, okay, you have the right to get medical assistance in dying, but you don't. You're screwed.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of the lucky few who is not in a Catholic-based, or faith-based healthcare institution, which is precious few people.
Yeah.
I keep saying this. I keep tweeting at our so-called justice minister, who I think is the worst justice minister we've had in a long time federally. I've done it at the
justice minister or health minister.
Justice minister, because they're the ones that create the law. Philpott. She is a horrible justice minister. Just, I'm hoping this. I know it's not going to happen, but the Catholic shuffle that's happening tomorrow in the federal government, I'm just, please get rid of her. She's awful. And our health minister here in Alberta, which is Sarah Hoffman. I've sent messages to her. I mean, I encourage everyone to send messages, because she's actually hearing it. She's hearing it. She knows she's getting these messages, so it's not, it's not for naught.
Okay.
So go tell her, say, look, just stop this. Religion adds nothing to healthcare. Period. Adds nothing, and it often takes away from it. But I get, I just get tired of saying it. And here's picture of Philpott on the thing. Anyway.
Well, it's pretty basic. If you don't want to die with dignity, don't. If you don't want to be gay married, don't marry.
Well, they keep lying to each other about how they're going to be forced to take this, which is absolutely untrue. But when do they care about the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Soylent Green. It's made of people. People. Yeah, right.
What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a quote from the movie Soylent Green. You don't know? So
yeah.
You can't tell me you don't know about Soylent Green. Come on.
What do I know about?
Charlton Heston.
Oh, okay. Okay.
People.
You're just saying okay just to appease me.
I am. Charlton Heston.
Okay, you have to watch that.
I've actually.
The movie?
Soylent Green.
Soylent Green. I've never even heard of it.
Well, it's food. Everybody gets food, and nobody knows how they get it until the very end.
Until the end when he's a detective.
Well, now I'm not going to bother watching. I know my.
Well, now you've got the punchline, right? You've got the ending. It's not. To be honest, I've known about the movie for a long time, but I only saw it last year.
Oh, and now that you're reminding me of It's People, I just hadn't heard that for years, but I probably did at one time know the reference, even though I
should hope so. That's almost iconic. Well, no, it is iconic. Soylent Green is iconic.
I got to see it before both of you. Then that's amazing.
Yeah, it was on AMC last year sometime, and great movie. Not George C. Scott. It was. Now can't remember. Okay, Charlton Heston and a very big name actor from the 30s and 40s. Anyway, So anyway, It's People. That's how they fed.
I'm always great for ruining a joke.
They're recycled. I don't have a problem with Soylent Green. Okay, if that was what we needed to do, that's fine. I don't. I don't have a problem with that.
I've never heard of this Edward Robinson, but that.
Yeah, Edward G. Robinson. Thank you. That's who I was trying to think of. Edward G. Robinson. You've never.
I never heard of him.
Oh, Philistines. I'm just like. Really? You've never.
At least I saw the movie.
One of the great actors of the 30s, 40s. Edward G. Robinson. Yeah, he kind of has this rather strange accent, which is. Very gangster. Like he played a lot of gangsters too. But, you see. I can't even do it. It's a difficult accent to do.
And then Lee Taylor.
Think of Chief Wiggum from The Simpsons. That is very close.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, that is very close to Edward G. Robinson. He's played good guys, bad guys. He was a pretty versatile actor.
Good.
But
Chris, at least look up that one scene. Just Google YouTube
the ending
and
where
People and
Yeah.
Soylent Green and just watch that. It's It's quite the scene, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of an episode. There's an episode of South Park, which I'm pretty sure is a takeoff on Soylent Green, where they'd send the turkeys in, and it's a to get killed for Thanksgiving, and it's a ethical death for them. So they see the nature scenes. It's straight out of Soylent Green. And then the saw blade comes across and chops all the turkeys' heads off. except for Calgary scored again. Except for the Gobbles, because Gobbles is a gibbled turkey. His head's down instead of up. So yeah, it's
like, oh my God.
You have to be a South Park fan to understand that one. What else have we got here? Oh yeah, we've got. You remember we talked about Cardinal Vuller, the guy that was Cardinal Vuller, and he didn't know anything about this. The allegations of sexual abuse by a priest named McCarrick. Yeah, this is a Wuerl at the time was serving as the Bishop of Pittsburgh. I'm sure that's really popular, but anyway, he said that Wuerl said while he was serving as bishop there, now he's cardinal, and he is on record for saying that he had no knowledge of the allegations against this priest named McCarrick. What's his first name? Theodore, or against Archbishop. He's an archbishop. Great, Archbishop Theodore McCarrick, and he didn't know. Well, apparently that's not true. He did know. We now know that he knew.
Really?
Shocked I am.
Surprise.
Shocked I am that McCarrick was less than truthful, or not McCarrick. Wuerl, Cardinal Wuerl. So, lovely, isn't it?
That's the thing I don't get. If sexuality is blame and homosexuality is so bad to them, why do they protect all these guys so well?
Excellent point. Let's just say we accept the absurd allegation that homosexuality is the problem to be true. It is not. But how does that explain like you say, how does that explain the cover-up? How does that explain the system where they would move priests around? It doesn't.
Well, because hate the sin but love the sinner, right?
No, but what about all that conversion therapy and stuff? Why didn't they send him for that?
Oh, they just need more religion. Because they know damn well
it's not true.
They just need more religion.
Do conversion therapy? I don't know if that's a Catholic thing.
Oh hell yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Calgary scored
might
again.
Be more another. Yeah. Okay.
Oh shoot. Anyway,
Catholics are look at the Catholic schools here. They're.
Well, yeah.
Calgary just scored again.
They're totally against the GSAs, and they're all about making sure people don't be gay.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, you're allowed to be gay, but you're just not allowed to act on it, right?
And you're supposed to get cured and stop doing it.
Okay.
So, a cardinal was less than truthful. He'll just confess his sins and whatever, and that'll be all of it.
He'll just pray.
Wow.
Yeah. Say a few Hail Marys, do the rosary and whatever other shit Catholics do to assuage their guilt.
And then say they get to go to heaven.
Yeah. Aren't they going to be surprised?
Well, actually,
no, they won't.
They won't even be able to be surprised.
Exactly. There won't be a person to be surprised. Oh, man. What do you... I don't know.
I don't know.
That Catholicism is beyond repair. It's done. Stop being Catholic if you're Catholic.
Yeah.
It's too bad it's so prevalent in Alberta because of the Catholic schools.
Well, yeah, that's Catholic school, religious schools in general, right? There's more than just Catholic schools. There's a Lutheran school here and there. There's
a Scientology school in Edmonton.
in Edmonton. Yeah.
But are they publicly
fundamentalists?
Yes.
Yes.
In part, at least. Yes.
Yeah.
Stupid charter
fundamentalist church. They're all funded publicly to greater and lesser extents, and it's a dirty little secret that Alberta government doesn't want you to know.
Yeah.
Well, who set it up though for the last 40 years? Not the NDP.
Yeah. Well, they are continuing it. That's the thing, right?
Well, Egan's trying.
Well, I suppose that would also implicate things like art schools and stuff like that, or science schools, right? You've got a budget.
We have a science school? That'd be nice.
What's up?
We have a science school?
I think there are such a thing, right? And they're also considered under that same kind of umbrella, where they're getting funding, but they're not quite the public system, right?
Show me one science school.
It'd be awesome if there were.
I probably could, and art school too, that's publicly funded. That's part of the,
not set apart from the public system in a way that they're going to change their curriculum and not allow gays. They don't they don't try to push the envelope like that. They actually follow the curriculum.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, they're all supposed to, but there's wiggle room to get around that. There's that organization here that held the Creationist Conference or whatever, right? That basically provides, I don't know, what do you want to call them? Loopholes to not teach your kids stuff that they need to be taught, and to turn them into bigots and all that kind of shit, right?
And I wasn't warned before I was taken into this one. What do you call it? They just had a guest speaker, and they shoved all of us kids in a room, and the guest speaker, and this was not a Catholic school, told us all about no sex before marriage and everything else. I had to sit there and listen to it without knowing. I wanted to put my hand up so bad and be like, what if I never get married? I wanted to tell them no sex for you, and I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
I seriously wanted to hear him say that, but I think they had handpicked kids to ask questions, because there's no way those kids would have asked those questions otherwise. And of course, I didn't get my hand even noticed.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, a science school, if it existed, wouldn't spend its day trying to tell everybody that religion isn't real. They wouldn't even bother. But these guys
just
do great lengths.
Science focused school. There's like a girls' school here too that's part of the public system, but more I don't know how you charter, I suppose, right? It's still publicly funded. But it's one of those parental options.
I don't know. I think private should be private.
I agree.
Privately funded, yeah. Yeah, I suppose one last thing I wanted to talk about tonight was, the whole thing with the Sokal Squared thing with Peter Boghossian, Hella Puck-Rose, and James Lindsay. Two of them have been previous guests on the podcast. And the blowback from that is that the universities instead, Portland State University, where they work, has really doubled down. I mean, this is incredible. They are charging Peter Boghossian with ethical misconduct because he didn't go through an internal review board or institutional review board to get approval for human experimentation. I'm just like, look, he sent papers into these journals. This is an audit. This is not an experiment.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have, like I've said, Jonathan Haidt has come in, who is a psychologist and does a lot of studies in political thinking. Robert Sopalsky, who is an amazing neuroscientist, has come in support of Peter. Steven Pinker, and I mean, most of our listeners probably know exactly who that is.
I know that is.
Has come in, written letters in support. I mean, it's all so wrong.
Dawkins, I believe, as well, right?
Probably, yeah. I'm sure he did. I mean, people that have, I would, but I don't have a natural university position. Otherwise, I would. yeah, this is stupid. This is just vindictive, petty, and disgusting behavior by a university. I just can't believe it. It's just...
Well, I can understand how if you're really desperate and you want to pin shit on somebody. That,
sure.
Yeah, I suppose he was dealing with they were dealing with
in a very
human
oblique,
subjects.
It's an audit, though. It's not. It's an audit, not an experiment.
It's not an experiment.
Yeah, it's not really an experiment.
But how do you
stretching that?
Like, what is the difference between what defines an audit? Like, I would think like maybe a literature review or something like that in that kind of context, as opposed to, actually engaging. I would say human subjects. And I'm totally in support of what they did, but I can see that being the loophole that that Peter's going to get hung on.
Yeah, instead of actually saying, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
These there's a big problem here. We should address it. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to
the academic equivalent of you're a racist, you're a bigot.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It very much is.
Yeah.
It's you're a Nazi.
Didn't he not get a letter presented to him as well from unnamed colleagues or some stupid thing too?
Yes, that we talked about that a little while ago, where it was a letter to the school newspaper that was done anonymously by a number of people, and
collectively, didn't they say?
Collectively, it was the most ridiculous piece of shit journalism I've ever seen. Yeah. They don't have a right to anonymity. It's not like they're going to lose their jobs.
That's not journalism.
No, it's not.
A letter. What do you call it, Tom? Like I said, collective letter isn't journalism. It's just.
It's just an opinion piece, right? It's a
academic bullying. I might.
But did you see the picture that went along with the story? The picture was with Peter Boghossian with a nose that went out to here.
Yeah.
And it was such a obvious hit piece.
Yeah.
We don't like what he said, so we're just going to, paste him with all sorts of labels. And they simply got things wrong. Like, they were talking about James Damore. Well, James Damore said that women can't code. I'm like, he's never said that. To listen to what he says, he's just saying that there aren't as many women coders because they don't want to.
Was he from Google?
Yes.
Was it Google?
Yes,
Google. The audience too. Yeah.
And it was just outrageous. This whole straw man that they created. They don't have a right to anonymity. Screw that.
Yeah.
They're hiding behind anonymity. Oh, we're afraid because we could get threats. How about the threats that Peter Boghossian gets?
No kidding.
Have some.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to be sexist here. Grow some balls. You twits. A bunch of useless twats. They're probably exactly the people that... I wouldn't surprise me that one of the editors was one of the that got bamboozled. I mean, it's one thing to accept these papers. It's quite another to actually add to the absurdity of them. Like these journals did. The whole dog park thing was just... Are you kidding me? How far out into space do we have to get before where you say, okay, that's just ridiculous? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have no idea.
Have these journals with this added ridiculousness had any blowback? Like, have there been consequences?
I don't know. Probably not.
To the journals?
No, probably nothing.
No, I'm guessing.
They'll double down and circle the wagons.
Yeah, double down.
And say, no, we're not the problem. We're not the problem. They're the problem. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I was in a meeting where the term grievance studies came up, and not in a, let's just say that was not a happy term for the person that brought it up. Yeah.
Oh, good. So there's somebody at least out there who thinks this is bullshit.
Oh, no. I mean, they didn't think it was bullshit.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. There's too many of that person.
They took exception to the term grievance studies.
Well, what do they want it called? Right? Well, I don't care. I don't care what you call it. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Well, I would say it with, critical theory, when,
Yeah. Well, you know what I think about critical theory, right? Critical theory is if there's one thing that critical theory lacks is critical thinking. Yeah. I stand by that statement. I think it is. I think it's a bunch of whinging and whining.
Thing to say,
And it offers nothing to fix things, even if I accept their conclusions. It offers nothing to fix things. Well,
that's not necessarily true.
Well,
you can inform policy that there's been things that have changed because of critical theory.
I don't know about that. Like what?
I do think it's produced more awareness of issues that face people that aren't I guess in the dominant group. Right?
I don't think so.
So for example, in the 70s, feminism was dominated by basically white academic women, right? And I think it was important that the voices of other women.
What, like Bell Hooks?
Well, she's one of the movers and leaders of that movement, right? And to bring into context the experiences of non-white,
You mean racist versions of feminism?
What's that?
You mean racist versions of feminism?
I'm talking about the 70s when that kind of thing kind of needed to be brought up because it was very uniform, right?
Yeah.
Now the way it's been taken up in the past 10 years, this intersectionality thing is
it's the worst
created
form of
a whole
feminism.
different monster. But that's the problem. Like when a theoretical kind of construct that you're supposed to use to generate other questions and to use as a mechanism to provoke your thought becomes a political doctrine. That's the problem.
Totally agree.
Right?
Yeah.
They're
taking
interesting
these
things
theories
to play within your mind, right? Thought experiments and that kind of thing, right?
They take these theories, and I'm going to put theories in scare quotes because they're not theories. They're at most hypotheses.
Hypotheses.
They're taken as a reflection of reality. I think you've got a problem. You've got a massive
sometimes
problem.
they are a reflection of reality.
Only by accident.
There's a use for that kind of thinking, and then there's an abuse of it, right? Just straight up.
Well, you have to support the hypothesis with something. You can't just assume it to be true. Right? I mean, otherwise, how do you know you're right? How do you know you're right?
That as a lens to you can assume it's a worthwhile lens to look through at certain social phenomenon.
Well, there has to be a basis in reality.
That you're not biased in using that particular lens.
Well, there has to be a grounding in reality somewhere, right?
Well, yeah.
If it's not grounded, and a lot of this is not grounded, it is just ideology, and it's taken to be true.
I want to call it theoretical, but it's more like, I guess,
it's
philosophical.
It's ideological. It's not even philosophical.
The data.
Well, that's just it. Yeah.
And that's my whole problem.
You can't prove a hypothesis without data.
That is the whole problem with the not the problem with the Sokal Squared. That was the problem that the Sokal Squared is pointing out. There's nothing in this that's empirical. It's not grounded anywhere. It is just opinion.
Yeah.
And these journals are filled with that crap.
Yeah.
Even the best.
And that's better than religion.
Well, it's exactly.
Seriously.
It's another form of religion. It's a cult. Like you say, Christine. Social justice has become a cult. It has its own dogma, its own priests, its own acolytes. It is no different than a cult.
Yep.
And heaven help the person who violates dogma.
But that doesn't mean that all of it is bad, because there has been good research that has generated good questions and that kind of thing, right? But
if you're not allowed to question it,
lost in the rest.
Once you can't question your own paradigm within your own, I guess research program, then you're kind of fucked, aren't you? Right? Yeah. You're not taking people that refuse to take into account the insights from evolutionary psychology and
or say that evolutionary psychology is bullshit. As one
I know, and that's
person
ridiculous.
I said, and that's why I banned the guy. I was like, you're blocked. You're done.
Yeah, as though we're not animals. Like, we're primates absolutely. Too. So why are we willing to take that information and for every other species of whatever kind of thing, but not ourselves.
We're special
not apply it
somehow.
to ourselves.
We're special.
Yeah.
It's like calling us special, just like the religious. I'm sorry.
It is. It is exactly like
so
that.
Morally superior, blah, 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 whatever.
PZ Mars in a nutshell, right there. PZ Mars, exactly like that. You know, the APA, the American Psychological Association, came out and said that traditional masculinity, I'm not sure exactly what that is really, really harmful. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God.
Well,
are we pathologizing masculinity?
Well,
I know Gad Sad's been on this because
too, like,
of course it is. It's totally vague. And Gad Sad has been on this. He's been obsessed with this the last couple of days. It's been hilarious. His tweets are so good. It's just he actually made a video where he had a cure for toxic masculinity, and he put on a wig, and I urge people to go over to Gad Sad's YouTube channel and watch it. It's funny.
Somehow I've missed that one.
Oh yeah, it's a recent one. It's the last. It's been this week. I think this weekend. I think is when it came up, and it was just. It was a hoot. I had a good kick out of it. So, anyway, anybody else got anything to talk about before we end this? Time to go to bed. I'm dead tired.
Twyla?
Well, I was going to tie this in earlier.
With the Alberta UCP guy that was talking. This was amazing. Where this ultra conservative party guy member who pretty prominent one that was involved in a sexual abuse scandal. And was talking about, God wants
me to do this,
to you.
Abuse of power.
Oh, Jesus, what a douchebag.
The reason why she actually started to speak up and press it and take him to task was because she saw his name on the political signs, and she's like, why does he get to get away with that? Why does he get to have this squeaky clean image when... But not only that, this whole thing with this UCP and conservatives with these double standards, the racism and everything else, it's in your face a lot because of these yellow vest rallies. They're all over the province. BC. And Lethbridge said, quite a few groups have gotten together to start doing the counter-protesting, the pro-immigration signs, because when they post these rallies, they say, bring your children, it's family friendly, and it's just about what a bad job the Liberals are doing and stuff, and stand up for your rights and things. And then when they get up there with their loudspeakers and they're talking about how Trudeau's ruining the country with his immigration policies, I'm sorry.
No, that's not how is this? I have a lot of problems with Trudeau, but immigration's not one of them.
Yeah, immigration. Yeah. He's not the one who's stopping the pipeline.
Well, let's face it. The Liberals on their watch really screwed up the pipeline situation. that they really did botch it.
But they didn't stop it. They're not the ones that are stopping it.
Yeah, that's definitely
He's not anti-pipeline. The NDP aren't anti-pipeline yet. This is what these signs
Alberta.
Say.
I would say the federal NDP was anti-pipeline, but I don't think definitely not Rachel Notley in the provincial.
No, she's been. Now she's no longer Trudeau's friend about it either. She's really peeved. But these people twist these things, and when they're yelling in their loudspeakers, it's very racist. So,
well, it's the Trump effect, right? We're seeing it. We saw it in Ontario with the election of Doug Ford.
I think of seeing it, so I've arranged one as well.
Yeah, and we're going to see it. We're almost certainly going to have a
Sorry,
UCP.
The sound is really...
Oh, is it bad for you? Is it? You okay? Can you hear it?
Yeah, it was totally out.
Yeah,
you said something about election.
Skype was probably in the next election, Alberta is likely to have a
it says
UCP government. That's almost a certainty. Alas.
Well, it's
going to get ugly.
People have noticed the people in these groups that are setting up these rallies, they're part of the Proud Boys and other groups that are online saying they're, they're racist. They say they're not. But these are the groups that are setting up these yellow vest rallies. So
this is a product of pushing down extreme views and letting them run amok unchallenged because they're underground. And we need them to come out into the light to get disinfected. Once they become challenged.
Well, they're out into the light.
Yeah.
That is what they're doing.
Now's the fight.
They're out, they're loud.
Yeah.
And we have every right to counter protest.
Sure, absolutely.
And they are loud. Let me tell you, they're loud. That loudspeaker a block away hurt my ears.
Just don't be like Antifa and start violent protests. That's going to lose people. That's going to lose support as faster than anything else.
No, in Lethbridge they've been very successful.
That's good.
I think it's a ratio of 8-1 pro-immigration people.
Okay. Yeah.
And as well, the groups are getting more organized, showing up in Edmonton, Calgary, and we need to see this in Red Deer because they've taken over 2 city blocks.
Wow.
And
yeah.
I already have pictures of them holding rebel flags up at the city hall and other ones, but I'm sorry, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of going downtown on a nice Saturday, try to walk around, and all I hear is how the immigrants are taking over and how
people don't even know the distinction between immigrants and refugees.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Something I did want to talk about tonight actually was the Islamic Party of Ontario.
I was debating about that. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah. That'd be like the Christian party they have here.
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm against either one. I mean, seriously, if you can't tell me, you can't convince me of your position in a secular way, then adding religion to it isn't going to do any good either. So, adding
religion just sets you apart from anyone who should be governing, because we know you're biased. We know whose side you're on. We know you're going to fight against.
I've run into those Christian ones before, and they were like, we shouldn't be allowing gay couples to adopt. And I'm just like, you do realize that there's a lot of research out there that show that lesbian couples actually are really, really good parents. Yeah. He's like, I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure you don't think so because you listen to that ICR shit. The Christian research, or family, or is it family? What's it called?
Focus on family.
Focus on family. That kind of bullshit. Yeah. If you look at their mission statement, they've got the bias is really clearly stated that their whole mission is to show that only heterosexual families are capable of raising children properly. And it's like, do you understand the concept of extreme bias and motivated reasoning, right? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't vote for a Muslim party any more than I'd vote for the Christian party.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly voted for a Muslim mayor,
That's different.
But,
he was
but he didn't run.
He was a Muslim party.
It wasn't a Muslim party.
Exactly. I probably will not vote for him in the next election. I think he's tired, and I think he's tired, and it's time for some new ideas.
You guys need to get fluoride back in the water. I'm sorry.
No kidding. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Didn't we have another plebiscite on that? I can't remember. I don't remember if there's fluoride in the water. I mean, not Jack Lord. What was his name? His name is Lord, but I can't remember his first name. John Lord.
Yeah.
He was saying at that thing with when Michael Shermer was in town in that very strange town hall thing.
The first time I met everybody, really.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was sitting with Nate Phelps, and we were just looking at each other. What the hell's going on? Like, what is this? And this guy comes on and says that one of the mayoral candidates says that fluoridation water fluoridation is the greatest hoax perpetrated on humankind. And I was like, what?
Yeah, but he wasn't near as batshit as a Christian guy.
And that was the thing. He wasn't the most batshit crazy person on the stage. It was that other guy.
Well, he's no longer with us, but he was quite a lovely, I knew him through his circle of friends. He was really quite a lovely man, Sad that we lost him, but
that was just such a strange event, but it was fun, but it was really, really strange.
Yeah, no, that Christian guy, wow, what a nut.
Yeah, he was an absolute whack job.
Yeah.
No question. I mean,
well,
he definitely.
You should be exposing yourself as a whack job.
And one of the mayoral candidates wasn't even there, and that was the she was the CBC
newscaster person.
Yes, she was the newscaster. I have no idea what she's doing anymore. She's totally off the radar.
Barb Higgins.
I don't remember her name. She wasn't there, and that she was basically the conservative choice for mayor, and it totally back. Oh no, not the conservative. It was the real estate choice for mayor.
Okay.
Because there was a big real estate interest. Because Calgary is not planned by the city. Calgary is planned by real estate developers, and it's really stupid. But
yeah, I now in hindsight, it all makes sense now. They
were getting they were very against Nenchi's, because Nenchi is very anti real estate developer, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
I think he was more anti.
Well, there was a lawsuit.
Spread, right?
Yeah, that's
because he wanted to bring more population into the core, into the LRT,
the core sucks.
Nodes and that kind of thing, right?
You couldn't get me. You couldn't pay me enough to move into the core.
Well, I live in the core, and it's okay.
You sort of do.
Yeah,
You're across the river. Now you're not really in the core.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't call that.
You're not in a condo, 10-story building.
Yeah.
You know where all the knifings happen. Yeah. Where all the knifings happen every night. Stuff.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
My brother was down in the core. He knows all about it.
There's an apartment about 2 blocks away from me that, first of all, they got shut down because of, I don't know, the construction wasn't correct and that kind of thing, and there's sketchy stuff going on there for sure.
You're in a much older neighborhood.
And a couple of shootings, right? Yeah.
Oh, you only had a couple. That's okay.
Pardon me?
You only had a couple, though.
What, shootings?
Yeah. Big deal. You go to Forest Lawn. Now then you'd be ducking your head.
Yeah.
You're ducking your head. Yeah. Anyway, nobody knows what the hell we're talking about. These are areas of Calgary, various colorful areas of Calgary.
Yeah.
I'm in a very
Forest
quiet.
Lawn is notorious.
Area. Yeah. I'm in a very, very, very quiet area of Calgary. Not older. Yeah. It's not as old as where the neighborhood you live in, Chris.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, yours goes back
early 1900s.
Yeah. Like ours goes back maybe 45 years. So
Yeah.
We're just starting to see newer families moving into this as the old folks die off.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. We take a look at the neighbors because we know them a little bit. Oh, which ones are still around? Oh, that one, she's still alive. Okay. Really nice on our time. So sociable.
Do you know your neighbors well?
Not really. We know our immediate neighbors on either side. And and one side we're like we check. Basically, we think she should have her pulse checked every day. So that's how close we're talking about. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And so we have no idea. I have no idea why she's still in that house. I just can't understand it. She is completely incapable of maintaining a home.
Does she have family?
Yeah, does somebody home care or something?
Yes, she does get that, and the family's over quite often. But seriously, get her some assisted living. It just, it's.
Well, thank goodness
right
she's got family. Like I'm sure I told you guys about the tenant that I had to get rid of you, couldn't take care of himself. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you have rights as a person who a landlord. You have rights. And
barely.
You don't want to.
No, not really. Very few. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't miss the day of having renters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
when they're great tenants, they're great, but when they're bad, my God, it can go drastically horrible. You know.
Rhonda has a real estate property that she rents out, and she's been really lucky having good tenants. She's pretty selective.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty.
But you never know. You can be the
of course,
most selective.
Yeah.
And
what was that movie with Keaton?
Michael
Keaton. I can't remember. It was about the renter from hell. He was the renter from hell. And it was he was.
I do vaguely remember that.
A sociopath, basically, who had a plan to get the property from the landlord, basically, and he was a total sociopath, and it was a really interesting film. I can't remember offhand what sorry, all these movie references. I know I'm talking to people who never go out or anything.
I've actually seen that one. I can't remember.
You're lying. You're lying.
I'm not.
Seriously, come on, you gotta be lying.
No, I'm not. I know that one. Yeah.
I don't believe it. Nope.
It was a horrible premise.
Yeah, it wasn't a fantastic film, but it was interesting. I like Michael Keaton. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we end it for the evening? Call it a night. Go to bed. I'm gonna go watch some more Titans. I quite like that on Netflix.
Is the third period for hockey yet?
Oh, done. I'm sure they're done. Yeah, they must be done. So yeah, it was. Calgary destroyed Arizona.
Whoever.
7-1.
Okay.
It wasn't even remotely close. This thing kept going off. It was like, okay, I'm tired of this now. I'm going to shut this thing off. Yeah, they really
score.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It wasn't exactly a close game. Lots of good football this weekend. It's great. I was talking to Nate on today, chatting on the football game. Yeah. But anyway, so next week or a couple weeks, and we'll see if there's any more news, and hopefully maybe we'll find guests. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah. Well, it would be lovely to have. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. That's just come to Canada, but especially bombarded with interviews.
Oh yeah,
and
Rahaf,
I'm thinking that I'm really hoping that the
give her some
Secular
time.
Republic,
or
Atheist Republic,
or even CFI.
Pardon me?
Or even CFI. I mean, they've had experience with this.
But I'm hesitant to reach out to her, even though we'd probably want to interview her, and Atheist Alliance International would like to undoubtedly do that too. But I think we should give her time and space and share maybe those interviews that she'll get, and not bug her too much.
Yeah, I hope she. Yeah,
I'd love to see her on the conference cycle pretty soon. Circuit.
Doing the circuit. Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be really good because
hers will be an amazing story.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going to close it out then.
Okay.
So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
You've been listening to the Legion of Reason diversion coming to you from Alberta, Canada.
Awesome.
If you enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing to our bi-weekly podcast on iTunes and other podcatchers. Even better, subscribe to our YouTube live sessions where you can join in on the discussion. Thanks for giving us a listen. Music and other sound effects under license from audioblocks.com.